This is Searching for Truth. I know it's been a little while since I made any videos, but I've had a lot going on, so just get right into it. This one is going to be about a show called Rocko's Modern Life. It's a show that I actually grew up on as a kid. I didn't realize all the undertones and adult innuendos and things like that that were being shown to me as a kid. Well, fast forward 20 years later, and they've actually come out with a brand new Rocko's Modern Life here on Netflix, of course. And it's filled with just as many innuendos and undertones and hidden truth in plain sight and things like that. So I'm going to break it down for you. It's about a 45-minute little video or show. I don't recommend watching it. I don't recommend letting your kids watching it. Even though it's a cartoon and it's rated TV Y7, there are a lot of things that don't really need to be shown to little kids. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, right here we're going to have, basically this is Rocko, and his brain is being smashed by a computer, which is what's happening to most of us, is our brains being overtaken by technology, by a computer. It actually starts out with Rocko's in space, and basically they get thrown into space. I guess it was around 1999, and they're in space for 20 years. And there's a button that they can press to end up coming back down to Earth, and they end up coming back down to Earth. But aside from that, again, they're pushing the space agenda, which is what they've been doing with NASA and all the stuff that they've done lately. Anyway, so they just reiterate it to the kids that space is real and that we've gone to outer space and this and this and this. Whatever. There is no actual proof of that. I don't know. I don't want to argue with anyone about it. I don't want to get into a debate about that. You believe what you believe, but what I believe is, and what I'm pretty sure is factual, is that we've not been to space. We can't go to space because we are in a dome. So like I was saying, his head gets smashed by a computer, his brain gets smashed by a computer, showing that we have mush for brains because we are being overtaken by technology. As he's going on his little walk, he is being chased by the devil computer, as you can see the evil eyes on the computer, and he's getting a bunch of thumbs downs by everyone. That's the insinuation of Facebook. If you can notice in the background, there's a bunch of satellites and cameras and things like that. Again, there's the devil computer. Randomly, out of a toaster, which is no surprise to me, a camera comes out, and I don't know if you can see what is on the camera, but it's a giant eyeball showing that he's being watched by. They're basically throwing a punch at the Illuminati here. The triangle with the all-seeing eye on it. If you can notice that in these two pictures that I have here, there's the Illuminati pyramid with the eye of Horus on it. And then obviously the Candy Crush game, that's another thing that's being shown here, it's coming up from the pits of hell and chasing him as well. The camera's on every corner, as you can see. Then he gets to his house, and he's actually watching a TV show. He's trying to find something on that's an old cartoon that he watched 20 years ago, and he's unable to find it. What he does find is this hillbilly show with all these tatted up bunny rabbits who are making babies like crazy. It's just basically that reality TV stuff that they have on now, just a stab at that, showing that, that's what we watch nowadays. Here is Conglamo. We still own you, that's what it says. So basically, I'm taking this as it's Google. We own you. There's a freaking a globe in the martini glass with a needle through it. I'm just taking that as basically they own us. And as you can see, the employees, they all look the same. They're all on their little cubicle desk at Conglamo or Google and doing their job the way that they're supposed to be doing it. The guy, Mr. Ed Bighead, is the big shot boss, and he's turning in the profits for the day. Well, something happened with that, and ended up he made an error, and so now it's the end of O-Town. It's the end of the world for them. As you'll notice, as they drive through town, there's signs up saying pedestrian crossing, holding their cell phones, because that's what we do. Everyone in the town is on a cell phone, walking around like zombies, like we do. There's a camera on every building, like there is. There's a camera on all the stuff here, if you've noticed. There's satellites everywhere. This clip here actually shows the big heads, Ed and I can't remember the mother's name, with their son. Well, this is important in a key scene. Aside from the fact that he has a bunch of sixes all over his shirt, in this scene he's telling his parents, and this was some 20 years ago, that he's going to find himself. He's done with making TV shows, and he's going to find himself. So Rocco, being the hero that he is going to save the town by getting Mr. Bighead's son to basically remake his cartoon that he's been wanting to watch, the 20-year-old cartoon. And all this is playing into this. Rocco's Modern Life is a 20-year-old cartoon, and so they're saying it's the best thing since sliced bread. That's what I'm getting out of what they're saying. Anyway, you see his friends there. One of them has somewhat of a selfie stick attached to his head. He keeps going live on his cell phone. There's a ghoul or ghost there that's supposed to be one of the guy's grandpas. There's a bunch of scenes that I don't know that I got. Basically, the energy drinks. You know how we drink the energy drinks now? That's one of the big things that we do. Well, anyway, in this scene, they're saying that the energy drinks are under investigation. In one of the scenes, they show after the guys drink the energy drinks, one of them grows an extra arm. The other one turns into this big blob. And they show the food truck craze, how people are eating tacos inside of a taco shell. Like, basically, one of the guys got a taco, and it was a taco inside of a taco. I don't know. Just showing the nonsense that we do here. And, you know, that's supposed to be a joke and everyone laughs, but it is nonsense. Here again, you see the version of a selfie stick on the guy's head. The other guy is doing virtual reality on a hoverboard, which don't really hover. I don't know why they call them that, but anyway, he's on a hoverboard in the background, and there's obviously cameras and satellites and things on the buildings behind them. So this is his dog Spunky is in love with the internet now. He's actually watching a video about mops, and it's actually pretty disgusting. It's mops being shoved into buckets, and it's a sexual innuendo that they're using, but it's about mops. It's a little ridiculous, honestly. Rocco goes over to talk to his neighbor about where her son's whereabouts might be, and she shows him these different postcards that she's gotten from him, and one of them has the pyramids on it with a mummy and a bunch of different symbols that we see in Egyptian type symbols. Of course, they got to throw the pizza in, the Leaning Tower of Pisa from Italy, and the Pizzagate type stuff, pizza. Then randomly they show this guy showing his butt for no apparent reason. A bunch of phallic symbols. The Eiffel Tower is one, and then obviously all the bread, the baguettes or whatever you want to call them, sticking up through the bushes like they are. It's just some more phallic symbols. So this is about drones. It's another OTube, which is their version of our YouTube. Talking about the Droneorama, and how this guy sells drones and spies on people, and then they end up going to the drone store where they can just buy drones, and they use a drone to go travel and look for the long-lost son or whatever. They catch this elephant bathing. They go by and see the pyramids again, and the sun obviously looks like an eyeball in the background back there. If you look closely, that Egyptian man has a fez on his head, kind of like the Shriners. A little joke about Area 51 in Roswell, New Mexico. They're showing aliens sitting drinking coffee, which is obviously just some more play on their aliens at Area 51. Just trying to reiterate to us that that's a real thing and make us believe that, or the kids, that is. Well, here we go to meet Mr. Bighead, Mrs. Bighead's son, who has now become a daughter. His name was Ralph. He changed his name to Rachel 20 years later, pushing the trans movement or agenda here. This is a 7-year-old's cartoon, guys. Why is this in a 7-year-old's cartoon? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Obviously there's still 6s all over her dress now. Just more of the satellites and cameras on the buildings. The Choky chicken, which is a little weird name. Showing the organic, free-range, vegan, non-GMO. Basically making a joke of it. That, that's the way that we try to eat. And they're just making a joke of it because obviously nothing that we eat is even going to be remotely good for us because they have a hand in most everything we eat. Just more video or pictures of these folks on their cell phones, being addicted to their cell phones, not being able to talk to Rocco because they're so addicted to their phones. ImpulseOshop.com, which is basically their play on Amazon. The dog is ordering a bunch of mops because he's so obsessed with these mops. The guy calls him a creeper because he's buying a bunch of mops. This cloud is the winds of change, basically saying that you have to adapt to change because it's inevitable, it's going to happen, which granted, yes, things do change, but the things that they're talking about are changing is pushing movements, pushing tolerance. That's the type of change that they're pushing. It's not just you get older and you die. It's, or things change. You get older and, you can get injured easier, or you can't get up as quick as you used to. Those are changes that are made, and there's changes in your appearance that can be made over time as you age, but this is different. This is pushing different types of agendas and movements, the winds of change. At the party, there's a giant rainbow in the background. There is just all kinds of different things here. They're all having drinks, and on that one guy's shirt it says B5, but it could also be interpreted BS, which we know most of this is. There's the eye symbolism with the guy in the background on the eye patch. There's a guy that has a mop that he's dating, because that's a thing. I don't know why that's a thing. I'm assuming it's to insinuate like a sex doll or something to that effect. I'm not really sure. These women are actually sitting here talking about something. Hold on.
That's why I decided to have that work done, dear. It's much firmer. Hey, look, here comes Rob!
Essentially just talking about how we get all kinds of work done and things like that, and, it's just mad out here. But this show is basically poking fun or making a joke of the life that we have nowadays, and that people don't even realize. That's what's sad, is that, all this stuff's happening, and it's happening in front of you on this show, and no one would pay attention to see it. They'll just basically write it off. Maybe even play on their phones, not even know that it's on. Their kids are going to be watching it. It's just, it's pretty despicable show. At the very end, they show the owner of Conglamo, which now says we own Squat. And he's dressed up kind of like what the Pope would be wearing. I mean, that's what I'm taking it as. That's kind of what he looks like to me. Also, I never did mention that, you know, Rocco, his shirt is covered in pyramids, triangles. It's all over his shirt. I mean, this show is just full of occult symbolism, just full of the Illuminati type symbolism, and it's just another one that, you know, you should keep your kids from watching. I appreciate you taking the time, and if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you like it, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it.